What's up, guys? Time to show off yet another build. This is one I've had kind of sitting back for a minute. Actually, I sat it back so long I forgot about it until I was going through getting some stuff together for some customer builds. And I have these bins where I have like all the parts laid out inside, and then I have them sectioned off. And my very top row was something to build, and it was this one. And I was like, I can't believe I forgot all about this one. Sometimes when I do a lot of cerakote stuff, I get so much of it, I don't want to just throw it all out there at the same time. I want to hold some stuff back. And whenever I got low on it, new stuff came in that I was waiting on, and I never got back to that box. So, back to the box, we have a Clover Green build. Now, what's really cool about this is this Clover Green kind of does a shift, but in the pictures it looks like it's different greens. It's not different greens. That's Clover Green, that's Clover Green, that's Clover Green, that's Clover Green, this extension's Clover Green, Clover Green, Clover Green, but in different lights it will get darker. Now you've got black, you got a black tension ring holder, the inside of your band is black. The background of the dial is done in black. The sides of this milled bezel and the sides of your SS band are in black. The sides of the case. So what's really cool is if you're looking at it from the side, you've got your black. Well, obviously, this is green here. But you got your black, and it runs up all along and back down. Kind of helps that green pop a little bit. Then I did a set of black hands. And this one has a little bit more loom action going on. We tried to etch out the tentacles a little bit in backside aluminum. Some of it is really small. But it came out pretty awesome. So Clover Green and black, dual cerakoted Kraken. Lasered out the Kraken, lasered out the background, so we got it on two different levels. Did the whole thing in black, baked it. I'm sorry, we did the whole thing in Clover Green first and baked it. Then we did the whole thing in black, and then before baking it, we removed the black from the raised areas, which is the Kraken itself, and then bake it. We do something very similar with the bezel. Whatever you want to be raised is what you do first. So whole thing done in black, then you bake it, then you do the whole thing in green. Obviously the sides being taped off, do the whole thing in green, and then you wipe it off from all the raised areas and let it just stay in the bottom, and then bake it again. So case is done, similar way, do the whole thing, tape it off, do it the other direction. So engineered band, milled. This is a one-piece milled bezel. Milled the case back down flat, cerakoted it. So this one was done in black and green. So what we do with that is we do the whole thing in black, bake it, do the whole thing in green, bake it. Then we laser just enough to where you go through the green, but not in through the black to expose the silver under it. And it exposes that black. That's how you get your black Kraken there. Now you can see with this, what we did on these is we just did them in green, and then when you laser through them, you get to the silver below. So Kraken engraved clasp, Kraken engraved caseback, and crown. And then I did a black handset in here. Let me move them over a little bit so you can actually see them. So here you go. You see two black Mariner style hands. And then we did these extensions on here. You don't actually need them, but I think it gives a cool look with this case where it just kind of comes out below it. So it does extend it, you know, whereas this would have normally been up in here connected. you know, this piece right here would have been inside there. Pretty simple. You've got your pinhole right here. You just push down. It's a spring bar. Then this has a quick release on it. And just pop that quick release off and then swap it into this one so that you can use a quick release up into the case. So if you want to take those off, you sure can. And then you have your micro adjustments in here too. So micro adjustments here, removing those. Micro adjustments here, moving that up. Then these are punch pins, not screw. So you're just going to have to look and see where it's indented, and that's where you run it down. Flip this over, run those down, and then just put them back in the same way so that whenever you tap it flush, these are flush here, and it's still indented here, so you know what direction to pop them back out. But that is the build. Bezel on this, I got it on here super freaking tight. Multiple layers of Cerakote makes that tension so much tighter. So these are on tight. You are not going to bump and move this at all. It's, you can see what it just did to my finger to even turn it, right? So you're not bumping and moving that. You have to grip and move that thing. So it can be moved if you need it to. So let me screw this back in so we can go over that part. So automatic mechanical, you've got a rotor in the back. You just can't see it. As you're moving around, it's winding it. But if it's dead or you're not going to be moving around enough to keep it winding, you want to wind it a little bit yourself. Now how you do that is you back the crown off the threads. So you hear it and feel it clicking. You'll feel a little bit of play there. You're off. At that point, you can wind. And wind is turned that way. Turning it back towards you doesn't wind it, but it is a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with your rotor movement will keep your time throughout the day. And if you do it for another 4 or 5 seconds, you're going to max out your 31-hour plus power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. It's got a slipping mainspring, so once it's has full pressure on it, it just deflects any additional. So when you're good with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click. And you can now set your time. Does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, so when you're pushing and prying out, you're not putting any adverse pressures on anything. Okay, Google, what time is it? 10:56 a.m. I hate times where the numbers are stacked because I always have to deal with taking pictures, and it seems that every time I go to take pictures they're stacked, and then I got to set the time wrong, and then if I don't put the time back when I go to do a video later and the time is wrong on the watch, I'm like, is the time wrong on the watch because there's a problem, or is it because I had to move the hands around and I never moved them back? So it's just my luck. But yeah, because I haven't taken pictures of this laying down over here yet. I was like, let me do the video real quick because I already just did the last video. Let's do the next one. But after this, I got to take pictures. So now, I just got to wait, I don't know, 10 minutes before I start taking pictures, or I got to move it. So I just hate doing that. Seems silly, but just don't like to move them because I don't want to look at it, 5 hours from now going, oh, it's 6 minutes behind or 6 minutes fast. That's not good. Yeah, that's not the problem. But anyway, that's the watch build. It came out awesome. So if you like Clover Green and black, this is the watch for you. We've never done Clover Green, so you've not seen a Clover Green of any other watch build. So Clover Green, matching beads, as close to Clover Green as you can get. But see, you can even see back here. See how this looks darker and this looks lighter and this looks darker? Like, it's all Clover Green. It's just the way the light's hitting it. This is rounded. This is flat. That's flat. So it may appear that it's different colors. It is not different colors. It's just how the light's hitting it and how the surfaces are flat versus how the surfaces are rounded. See, now this matches more like that, but still doesn't match that. But down here, this and those match. So that's also fun to try and take pictures of. When people are like, oh, I don't like it, you did it in 2 different colors. I didn't do it in 2 different colors. I just can't show you that it's done in 2 different colors or 1 color very well, because it's doing stuff like that. See, these 2 now look close. This is a different color, and this is a different color. So it's like I'm using 3 different colors now. So good times, always fun to deal with. You can see it does have a bit of a color shift to it. Just depends on the angle you're looking at. So that's this build. Since there's black involved, I happen to have a black Kraken box. I did have a green box, but it's greens that are not even remotely close to any shade that this even turns to. So didn't use that. This is going to come with watch cleaner. This is a foamer. It's good on all glass and metal. So this watch as a whole, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. You'll also get some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It is for your acrylic glass. You can scratch it. If you do, you'll put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your included and color matching microfiber. If the scratch is up and down, just go left and right, fill in that scratch, haze it, buff it out. If it's still there, wait a little bit, and do it again. You're building up that scratched out area. If you scratch the Cerakote, that's different. Use a little WD-40, use some gun oil. And that a lot of times will kind of restore it. But if you scratch deep and get down to the base metal, there's nothing that you can do. It's just like a car. You're going to have it redone. So try not to rub it on things like bricks or asphalt or concrete. Heavy things like that will scratch and gouge it really tough. So, but that's the build. If it's going to you, congrats. You have the first Clover Green Kraken dual Cerakote build. So that's the build. If you need me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.